So I want to start the podcast completely randomly, not related at all to the movie, basically like how I felt when this comment came through.
Okay.
Okay. So we got a comment on our videos on YouTube, which I'm guessing you're still posting our podcast on YouTube.
I just posted how you had the default settings.
Okay.
Yep.
So we've never fixed it. So we don't actually look at the YouTube. I didn't know it was actually still going. I don't even go to that channel anymore, so that's fun. But I guess it's still connected to my phone. So I received a notification that we got a comment. It was on episode 55. What episode are we on now? This was before we did seasons, so that must have been...
No, because every year is a season, so it's 52 episodes a year. So that had to have been episode...
Yeah, but don't we normally restart to number 1, or do we not? Or do we just do, like, season 2, episode 78, even though it's not... What?
So I title it season and then the number in the season, but I don't know if YouTube does.
Oh, okay. All right, so it says episode 55, so that's, like, after a year, right? Yep. This was the first episode, and one of the only, that we had a guest on.
Yes.
Yeah, so I actually really liked this episode. It was about content that I really enjoy talking about, and I had really a good time doing it. So if you guys haven't listened to this podcast episode, it is about The Secretary. It's a 2002 movie. It's a interesting movie.
It's a bit of a risque movie, so do not watch with your family.
Yeah.
Or church group.
Yeah.
This is not the movie.
But the episode was really good, and the interview that we had was actually really interesting. So definitely listen to it. But our comment that we got was, the person's name was something brutal. It's a man with a very epic beard, if you wanted to know. And it says...
Wow, you're just throwing that right in my face a little bit.
I can only see part of their face, but yes. Oh. It says, I think it's the first time he has had a BDSM relationship with one of his secretaries. They're talking about the main character of the movie. The others left because he is a really hard to work for, you think. He's just as broken as she is, which in a way is why they work, and I got the feeling he was in a submissive relationship with his ex-wife. When this movie was made, I doubt it would have been illegal to ask if a woman was going to get pregnant. So we must have stated somewhere in the podcast. Now, granted, this is now 2 years ago, so I don't remember.
It was the interview when she was applying for the job. He says, "Are you going to get pregnant and leave me?"
And we must have said something about, like, that has to be illegal to ask or something like that.
It was definitely illegal then, and it's still illegal.
Yeah, I would have to imagine that it would have been illegal to ask that question. As for him being in a submissive relationship with his ex-wife, now, again, 2 years ago, so I don't fully remember the movie, but I find it hard to believe he was a submissive before. I have a feeling that maybe he felt inferior to his ex-wife, but you don't go from being a submissive to a dom. Like, that's not how any of this works. Like, you are what you are. It's like you're straight or you're gay. Like, you don't choose that. You are what you are. So I mean,
but different circumstances allow you to do different things. So
you can be both. Like, I mean, just like you can be bisexual, like you can be both. You can enjoy both things, but he seemed like a dominant.
All right, we're talking about a 2-year-old movie on the podcast. Can we please get back to the movie at hand?
Well, it's an interesting thing to think about.
It's a whole 5 minutes into the podcast, and we haven't gotten to the movie.
So sorry. Anyways, so this week's movie was an audience choice-ish movie.
It was another Discord recommend.
Yeah, so it was your choice, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you chose?
I chose The House. I chose this for our lovely Discord member, Bite, and he said it was one of the last movies that made him laugh, so we wanted a lighthearted movie after the kind of serious movies we've been doing, and so we needed a palate cleanser.
Yes. Unfortunately, this palate cleanser does not give us a ton to talk about, so I think it's going to be a pretty short episode.
brief synopsis. Tyler's History Minute. Audience asks.
Obviously, that's a dark comedy.
Right. I mean, that's very dark.
Painful to discuss, taboo, all of those things checked off, right?
Yeah.
But so for this movie, I guess it's taboo to do illegal things. And I guess it would be taboo to, like, you know, cut someone's hand off or murder.
Or light someone on fire with vodka. Right,
but the way it's handled is different. Like, in Death of Stalin, it's like you're cringing because it's like this stuff like happened and like this is like
they're talking about horrible atrocities,
right? Like things people died. Like this is like
people were black bagged, never seen again.
Right, like that's dark, right? That's dark. This is more like it's so funny because it's the way they do it is so out of the realm. Like it's the way the blood splatters. Like that's not how blood splatters. Like I mean, you don't look at that and think like, oh, that's gruesome. Like you're like, no, that's ridiculous.
So I would compare that kind of to some of the scenes in Dumb and Dumber. Like where the guy kills their pet bird and then they sell the pet bird to a poor blind kid.
Aww.
I mean, or they kill the guy because
I hated Dumb and Dumber.
They kill the guy because they put all the spicy food on it and he had a peptic ulcer, like he died. Like,
right, but it's not dark humor?
I mean, somebody's died, but I don't consider that as a dark...
Well, I kind of don't... I guess because it's not realistic to me, that it loses that edge.
I think it's just different because I don't consider that dark because we were all raised on those cartoons where Wile E. Coyote died horribly, falling off cliffs.
Or the anvil was dropped on their head, yeah.
So I don't consider that dark. I would consider dark talking about a taboo subject like death and then just making light of horrible things.
Yeah, there's movies out there that are talking about like cancer and like making jokes of that. That's dark, like things like that. I feel like things that are realistic that I can...
And like, just poignant and
visceral. Yeah, like those to me are dark, but I didn't find this dark. I felt like it was too exaggerated to be dark.
I think that's fair.
But
I think we're looking into this farther than is really necessary.
Don't we always?
We really do.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's all we have because nobody else asked us questions because I don't think a lot of people have seen this movie. I will say that if you are looking for just a movie to laugh at and just have fun, like I definitely recommend
a movie where you don't have to think about anything and just relax, and you could even watch it in the background. You don't have to pay attention.
And it was on Amazon Prime. Is that where we found it?
Yeah, for like $3-4.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're looking for something like that, I mean, we all need to laugh right now. Like it's y'all need it. So ratings and reviews.
So, the reviews.
Reviews.
Not kind.
Dun,
So-
dun, dun.
The critic score is 20%.
Oh, my goodness.
The audience score is 35.
Okay.
Sorry,
Guys.
Bite. Not a very popular movie, and you are in the minority on this movie.
Okay. But, I mean, okay. So why do we think that is?
I honestly don't know. I think...
I mean, the critics are going to say there's no substance. That's that. I mean, the critics are looking for cinematography, and they're looking for like this really deep like plot and storyline.
I think it also falls behind a lot of. I think for the audience at least, it's a critique on the success of Will Ferrell movies in general.
Well, that's not fair.
People love his movies and they find him very funny.
Uh-huh.
So, Ron Burgundy, Talladega Nights, Old School, Elf, but he has a portfolio of comedic roles that people meme to hell. I mean, 60% of the time it works all the time.
I mean, that's not fair, though.
So I think that they just were let down by this movie because it doesn't live up to that same kind of level. It's not quite in
it's
that.
not Anchorman. I got it. So what would you give it?
I would give it a 4.5, 5.
Wow.
5.
You're mean.
Solid 5.
Wow, I'm sorry, Bite. He's mean. Rough. In any reason?
I mean, just no substance there. I mean, it was fine. There are other better, funnier movies that I would have rather watched.
Okay. I was going to give it a 7. So I like fluff movies sometimes. I don't like slapstick comedy, and this was a little bit better than slapstick comedy for me. I thought it was a cute movie. I like Amy Poehler. I loved The Best Friend. I think he's hilarious. I don't know. I thought it was a nice movie. I needed a happy movie. I need a break sometimes.
And
so,
we are going to get you to watch both Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Parks and Rec. I swear to God.
Yeah, sometimes I need happy things, and this did that for me. So
yeah.
I was happy to have that. So I didn't give it more than a 7 because there's nothing there, right? There's no, so that's what it is. But that's all I got. So got anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's everything. What's our next movie? It's your choice.
Okay, we haven't done a current movie in a while, so I have been searching. And I did find one. It is streaming. It looks like it's on Amazon Prime. It's called The Devil Down Below.
Okay.
It looks like a horror movie. I really don't know, guys. It might be horrible. I don't know. The options for current movies are limited. So I'm hoping that after this movie, Tyler's going to pick something that is more popular and just has substance to it in case this next movie is another flop.
Wow, that's a lot to put on my shoulders.
Yes. So if you guys have suggestions for him of what you want him to pick, you can bug him with that. But
yeah, you can. I don't think I'll listen, but you can try.
Yeah, but yes, he's got a lot of pressure on his shoulders. So make sure you come back at the very least to find out what he finally decides. But this does look like a halfway decent movie. It doesn't look horrible.
I mean, based off the trailer, it looks a lot like The Descent, which I very much enjoyed. But we will see.
Yeah, we will see. So that is all I have. So if you guys want to tweet at us, I am at CinematicallyC. Tyler is Blame Tyler CC. You will have to tag me to get him. Please send us audience ask. I know this is a new movie and not a lot of people have seen it, but watch a trailer and come up with something, or just
watch the movie. It's a few minutes out of your day. It's
yeah.
a few hours.
I would love it if somebody watched the movie and tweeted at me. That would make me so happy. Right. So if you do that, you can also email us cinematicallycorrect@gmail.com. We are on every social media platform. But please do that because I don't want to have another episode without real audience ask because that makes me feel bad.
Wow, way to downplay Bite.
No, I love him and I love that he did that for us, but I wish that we had more. We always have 2 every episode and we didn't. And that just, it's a bummer.
We don't always have 2. Our fans do very often let us down. And I hold a very select few of them personally responsible. I'm talking to you, Ryan Terry. I'm talking to you, Krista. I'm talking...
Calling them out. Wow.
Calling out Stork. I'm calling out... He's throwing
at the names of the people he likes. So if you're being called out, he enjoys
Matt Lewinsky, don't like you, but I'm still holding you accountable more than anyone else. And I blame you for all the problems in the world.
Nice. These are terms of endearment from Tyler, if you do not know. So,
not for the last person. No.
Okay. And so anyways, please do reach out to us. We appreciate that, and it gives us something to talk about on the episodes, especially when we have a lot of fluff that we have to talk about. Yeah. So that is it. We will be back really soon with a new episode. So thank you to Jake and Out This Music for our intro and outro music, and we'll be back next week with The Devil Down Below.
Thank you all for listening.